Thomas. Hmm. Yeah. This one right here, a spirit like Nostradamus. You know what? I ain't even gonna use the lighting effect. I'm gonna keep it kind of dark because what I'm gonna say is going to enlighten. Mm. A spirit like Nostradamus. Not the artist Nostradamus. Nas. I mean Nostradamus. If you don't know who I'm talking about, go look it up. But before you do, or whether you do or not, please click the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. All right. A Nostradamus spirit. What does that look like? Nostradamus spirit. Let's free flow with this. That's that person that loves to say, I told you so. That's that person that wants to inflate their value by having some type of foresight. Someone claiming they got premonition. That's that spirit that, you ever heard of that saying, Captain Obvious? You know what a Captain Obvious person is, right? Someone who states out the obvious. Like here's one. Hey, Jesus is coming back one day. There will be a second coming. My intuition and foresight tells me, what? Yeah, it's gonna happen. But you know what a Nostradamus spirit gets you doing? Just since I threw that example out there, let's ride with it. You got your mind right and you got your spirit right. Yeah, you know there's gonna be a second coming. But here's what a Nostradamus spirit does. I mean, this is in the Bible. It's spoken on. It literally tells you that you're not supposed to be trying to predict when it's going to happen. You're not supposed, how many times y'all done heard of a date of when the world is supposed to end? Now, there's been at least 6 of them that I can think of, going all the way back to like the 1800s. I think there was a date in the 1800s and a date in the 1900s. Not just 1999, but there was some other date. And the day that happens, there's going to be somebody out there that had thrown that date out there, and they're going to say, I told you so. Straight. That's some witchcraft stuff, to be quite frank. Some may know what I'm talking about, some may not. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this ain't really the video for that. This ain't the time frame. We're not going to get that enlightened if we need that. But for those of y'all who do know what I'm talking about, that predicting and channeling to see what's going to happen. What is that thing that's very common? I cannot, manifestation. There's a lot of people out here that's really screwed up in this world, really screwed up in the game, screwing up other people. because they out here on some manifestation stuff. That's all witchcraft. That is not of God. That is not a good spirit. And if it ain't a God, then by default, what does that make it? Inductively, if you know that that ain't of God, well, there's only one thing that it could be. Even if you don't want to take it that far, it can only be of one thing. Another little food for thought. Do you all know how Nostradamus came about? All of those predictions. He was doing witchcraft, doing little seances and going into trances and coming under the guidance and influence of things that are not condoned in a positive aspect of spirituality. A spirit like Nostradamus. Oh, here. Let me do some Nostradamus. Those who live by the sword will die by the sword. Duh. It says that in the Bible too. Maybe not verbatim, but that concept is spoken of. And so what if I can put a date on it? Put a date on it. You're not really supposed to be trying to put dates on things. There's really no point in a date being put on it. Because when you're trying to put dates on things, you are... See, that's it's another tactic of Satan. It's another tactic of the adversary. Go ahead and drop a dime because I know these things. You are not supposed to dwell in the past. You're not supposed to dwell in the future either. You're not really supposed to be doing too much looking past the present. And you're not supposed to be looking behind the present either. That's just default wisdom. Yes, you want to move in ways today that will enable and ensure or increase the likelihood of prosperity tomorrow, but you're not supposed to be moving today consequentially to what you think is going to happen tomorrow, because tomorrow ain't came yet. We don't even know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. We don't even know if we're going to see tomorrow. So when you get to putting a date on things and predicting things that happen, that's not good. See, people don't exactly understand what's wrong with gambling. There's a lot of things that's wrong with gambling. That's a debate for another day, whether or not gambling is actually a sin. I personally think it is. But that's some looking into the future stuff too. I don't know how many people have thought about it like that. You ever thought about it like that? When you gambling that this name's going to be drawn, or these numbers are going to be played, or this will be the outcome in the future. That's not, in my humble opinion, something that I think we're supposed to be doing. Now, if you have a different perspective, to each his own. I am not here to contest, refute, or reject a perspective that doesn't line up with mine, but that's all that Nostradamus spirited stuff, if you ask me. Here's another funny thing about that. The percentages of people with Nostradamus spirits don't really play out very well. See, a Nostradamus spirit will also have you kind of working against your own intuition or working against the intuition of other people. I got friends or ex friends and ex acquaintances where something would happen and it would be something that I've already told them about. Not on no, it's a bad omen, or like I'm cursing them, or I'm trying to throw shade and predict their downfall, but it'll be something that I speak on. And a lot of times people would think that I wasn't credible or insightful enough to speak on that or advise against that or preach against that. You know, people selling drugs, people living lives of crime, be it white collar crime, organized crime, or just straight up brutal hands on crime. I tell them, hey, that's going to end bad for you. You will reap what you sow. But see, that Nostradamus spirit will have you like, well, what do you know? What credibility do you have? What credentials do you have to speak on this? Why does a person need to have credentials to speak on that? If you out here profiting off of the plight, suffering, misery, and decadence of other people, what credibility does one need to tell you that those things are going to come back to you thricefold? And then really that ain't even nothing special when I tell them that. That's in the Bible as well. See, you got certain people where it's like, well, unless you're doing what I'm doing better than how I am doing it or have done it, you can't tell me nothing. I got other videos talking about why you're so defensive. See, people will get defensive on you. In these type of moments when you tell them what's ahead of them if they keep up a certain type of behavior or keep up treating people like that. But if I was Nostradamus, or like I said, somebody, if my name is El Chapo or Al Capone or something like that, then you take me serious. Then you take that person serious if they had that resume. It's very interesting. Just think about that. Think about how many times people can't be told nothing. because the only thing they would respect is a Nostradamus type of spirit telling it to them. Somebody that's put all of their eggs in basically a basket of entertaining negativity. Now here's a flip side of that, just to throw this in there. Tarot cards, all of that reading fortunes and just witchcraft. It's a Nostradamus spirit too. That's not good. I don't even care. And the ironic thing is, the vast majority of what Nostradamus predicted would happen, it was all negative things. But that doesn't just mean that predicting or trying to foreshadow and put a date on negative things is all that pertains in a spirit like Nostradamus. Even people trying to read your future or do some tarot card reading on you, I don't care if they tell you that you're gonna win $1 million 6 years from now. Should that happen, that don't have nothing to do with their cards. And see, the spiritual world is real out here. See, the spiritual world, which they negatively hardwire into, what's going to happen in 6 years, be it positive or negative, is going to happen. Those things have already been bought and paid for, signed, sealed, and delivered. That's what's waiting on you 6 years from now. But somebody with some tarot cards, flipping them and all this other witchcraft stuff, that's they call it cap. I don't even know why I don't like that, but I get the application. But I call it perpetrating. Like that's what we used to call it. Quit perpetrating. But that's a perpetration. Because see, these people done negatively tapped into a spiritual channel, or they done negatively tapped into the spiritual world and found out something that they ain't supposed to know. And now here they come bringing it to you like they somebody special. Yeah, they somebody special, all right. They're a special unit in a special liege that ain't of God. So yeah, they special, all right. Another thing that spirit like Nostradamus will have you out here doing, it'll have you out here over exaggerating your wealth and your value. See, a lot of people would do that. Be careful with these type of people. People would do this to inflate their value and make themselves seem like a asset, like something that you want to keep in tune with, like Cleo or something. Call me now. I don't know if you remember her. That was back in the 90s. But there's people that have assimilated that hustle. And all that is a person trying to make themselves seem like somebody you need to listen to. Somebody you need to take more serious than you should. And it doesn't even have to be somebody making a grand scheme out of it. But it could just be somebody in your life. that's basically either telling you something they already know, like either they know because they have some type of wicked involvement in it, or they're just blowing smoke and projecting negativity, basically just hating. And you throw enough darts. It's like if a blind man throws enough darts in the direction of a dartboard, eventually he gonna hit bullseye. Not because he's a good dart player, but just it's like a probability thing. Another thing people be doing, again, there's a either they hardwiring into that negative aspect of the spiritual things that go on in this world, or in a worldly sense, they are part of it. Like, for example, you do dirt, people setting you up. I I know of times where people done set somebody up so that a couple of days from now, when they're in a certain place, something bad gonna happen to them, or they just know of a plan or a scheme or some type of treacherous opportunity that's going to be taken on them. And they won't say it or speak on it until it comes some time to make it seem like, hey, well, watch what happened this weekend. Watch what happened to her uh come this time. Just speaking on it in that way. Just to get people like, well, what you talking about? Well, what's gonna happen? Just watch. Or maybe they'll, you know, on some just clown aspect, make it seem like, hey, man, I bet you they get they I bet you they get they I bet you they get their bag taken. I bet you they get their pack stolen. I bet you somebody run up on them. Generally, that's like, one of three things. Either they know that there's a plan or a plot out there for this person to get mugged or robbed or something like that, or they just projecting what they want to happen, or three, they just hating. Might be a situation where this person just has that coming, period. And here this person is trying to get ahead of it, get ahead of the tabloids, or be a tabloid themselves. That spirit of Nostradamus had people just talking and moving like tabloids, a walking tabloid. Mm. There's another angle on that, just kind of riding off of that. I said it's kind of like a probability thing. You guys, go check out Nostradamus if you so feel inclined. It's very interesting. I mean, he's already popular enough where people basically have the consensus that this guy would predict things that were going to happen, and a lot of those, well, some of those predictions just ended up lining up right, kind of with what he said. But I've already spoken about tapping into that negative spiritual world, or tapping into the spiritual world negatively. But then the other thing is, there's that saying, even a broke clock is right twice a day. Right? Literally, a broke clock is right twice a day. Now, depending on how many times you look at that clock, that's going to be where the whoa comes into perspective. You only look at that clock 5 times in a day and it's right twice. Like, we looking at some good percentages. You look at that clock 100 times in a day and it's only right twice. Well, then what are we talking about? So a lot of stuff is just perspective. A lot of things are just a limited perspective, a lack of perspective, or an overindulgence in perspective. Because a lot of things that people, like I said, I said it earlier, a lot of things people predict, they're destined to happen. It's like even a blind man could see that. But there's something about a spirit of Nostradamus, like I said, that makes it seem more intricate. Makes it seem like there's more value to this person. Like, check this out. I'm gonna go all. I'm gonna give an example, and I don't know. Some people may feel how they feel about it, but you're not supposed to deny certain things once you know them. You're actually supposed to speak on them and put it out here into this world. But I don't know if you all know about that temple that's being built over in, the Israel part of the world. You got your Israel and Palestine thing going on. It talks about what that implies once someone tries to build another temple like that on earth, because they've been destroyed when they were built. Well, someone could Nostradamus that, come with some Nostradamus spirit on that. But the reality is, if you read your Bible or you do some research, just not even to say that you have to believe it, to each his own. I happen to, but it's already been said what that will bring about and what that implies. Now, you're not supposed to be trying to put a date on those things. And there's a lot of things that are going to play out in this world, and they have to play out so that prophecy and scripture can be fulfilled. Anybody putting a date on it or claiming that they got some intricate insight that other people don't have, look out for them. One, is a fool. Secondly, it's not good. It's not what we're supposed to be doing. That was on my soul, and I had to get that one off. A spirit like Nostradamus. Deuces.